Probably the question that I get asked the most is what a skinny fat guy should do to get back into shape. Okay, and for those who don't know what skinny fat is, it's being used as like a medical condition these days. But what it basically means is you're built like Bart Simpson. Okay, you look at Bart Simpson; he's got like these skinny twig arms hanging out of his t-shirt, but he's got like a gut. Like the t-shirt's loose up at the top where it's supposed to be tight around the chest, shoulders, and arms, and it's tight down around the waist where it's supposed to be loose, right? It's like a reverse V-tape where you have like wide hips, wide love handles, and then like a narrow, skinny pencil neck and skinny arms. Okay, so guys like don't really know what to do. If you go ahead and you cut, you look even skinnier. If you bulk, you look even fatter. So what those guys are looking for a lot is like a body recomposition diet. They're looking for a diet that will support exercise to build muscle and lose fat at the same time. Okay, and although people say that it's impossible, it is very possible. Okay, it happens all the damn time. And the results will be slower than if you cut or if you bulk. But like I said, the problem is if you take a skinny fat guy and cut the fat with a cutting diet, he's just going to look skinny. If you take a skinny fat guy and bulk, he's going to look, bigger and, kind of chubbier. So like with this, you don't look worse before you look good. With this, you slowly start to look better gradually. The results aren't as fast, but like I said, you don't go through this like really making yourself look worse before you look better, period. Now, the best diet that I can recommend for this is Vince Gironda's Instinctive Meat, Eggs, and Water diet. Meat, eggs, and water diet. Most people have only heard of Vince Gironda's steak and eggs diet. Okay, actually he made a million different diets for a million different reasons, and even the steak and eggs diet has evolved a lot from the first time that he created it. Okay, and what it basically started out as, he was doing a bodybuilding contest. Back then, bodybuilding didn't exist. They called it like Best Built Man competition or something like that. So he was getting ready for this bodybuilding contest, and what he did is 9 months straight, he ate 3 large eggs and 3/4 of a pound of steak twice a day. That's all he ate, and drank water. Okay, and he got very lean, got very ripped, and he said, he's like, towards the end, he found out that he was not just losing fat and getting leaner, but he was getting stronger and getting more muscular and building muscle at the same time. Okay, and he realized how well this is working. Supposedly he got the idea from, what was it, Not by Bread Alone? It was a book about a guy who was an explorer stranded up somewhere in the Arctic. I think that was what the book was about. It was basically about a guy who went on like a primitive diet where they just ate meat, and then that was basically all of their diet. And he actually got healthier by just eating meat. And Gironda kind of took the idea and ran with it. And like I said, when he realized how well it worked, not just to cut fat, but also to feel good, to be very healthy and to build muscle, he started working on it a little bit. The first thing he did was, I think, add like a salad or two to his meals. And because of the fiber, okay, this diet does lack fiber, so he added a green salad to add fiber without adding carbs, without adding sugar. And then after that, he realized that you didn't just have to eat steak and eggs. You could eat any kind of meat and eggs. And now we're starting to get into why I call this like the instinctive meat, eggs, and water diet. Okay, instinctive meat, eggs, and water diet means if you are trying to eat 2 meals a day, as much as you want, of whatever meat, eggs, and water, okay? If you're trying to do like body recomposition, trying to maybe get leaner, but really trying to get more muscular, and in an article that Vince Gironda wrote called The Meat, Eggs, and Water Diet, he suggested if you're in a training rut, and this is not, he didn't say if you're trying to cut fat, he says if you're in a rut, try eating meat, eggs, and water 3 times a day, okay? And like I said, it's instinctive because the kind of meat you eat and the amount of meat you eat are whatever you feel like eating, whatever your instinct tells you to eat at the time. Now, my first experience with instinctive eating was the first time that I tried the steak and eggs diet. I've said this in other videos, I'm like really OCD, okay? And also, not just being OCD, not just being analytical and scientific and mathematical by my nature, every diet's like you have to weigh this and you have to measure this and whatever. So I couldn't wrap my head around the concept at first of eat as much as you want twice a day. I just couldn't, get it through my skull. And I remember one time it was a Friday night, okay, and my girlfriend, I'm like laying in bed, and my girlfriend was like, making something to eat, and she walks into the bedroom. She's like, "Hey, I'm making some chicken. Would you like some?" I had already eaten my 2 meals of exactly 200 grams of 80% chopped beef, 80% lean chopped beef, and 5 eggs twice a day, whether I want to or not. That's what I was going to eat twice a day, every single day, except on the weekends where I did a carb refeed on Saturdays. So she comes in asking if I want chicken. I already had my 2 meals. Like, I should have said no. But, what I ended up doing was like, hey, listen, I already had my meals. I've been working out. You don't get fat from protein anyway, and chicken's basically just protein. And the next day is going to be my cheat day. So I'm like, yeah, go ahead and bring me some chicken. So she comes in with a plate of chicken, and I just, like, swallowed it whole, like, Killer Croc style. Bar. It's gone. And then she came in a couple of minutes later. She's like, "Wow, you ate that already?" I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "You still hungry?" I'm like, "Yeah, go ahead." She's like, "Do you want some more?" I'm like, "Yeah, go ahead." And so I had another huge serving of chicken. Then she made me another serving of chicken. I didn't know it at the time, but basically she was making chicken for herself, and she made a little extra because I said I wanted some. So I ate the extra. Then I ate the chicken she made for herself. Then she made some more chicken for herself. I ate that too. So I ended up eating like literally a couple pounds of chicken. Okay. And we had to actually get in the car, go to a supermarket, and buy more food because I ate all the chicken in the entire house. Even though it wasn't on my diet. Even though I was like going over my macros or my calories or my protein requirements or whatever for the day. Okay. And the funny thing is, a few days later, that was Friday night, like Monday morning, like I realized that my workout was a lot stronger. So what happened? Well, my body apparently needed more protein, okay? Which is counterintuitive because when you're on a low carb, high fat diet, you're supposed to eat more fat than protein. But for some reason, I had no desire to eat beef. I had no desire to eat, cheese or eggs or bacon or anything. I wanted chicken. I wanted lean meat, lean protein for some reason. And it was basically my body telling me that I, at this point in my life, needed more protein. And it's very important, especially if you're going to do like a body recomposition diet. It's very important that you follow your body because you don't know what your body needs in the particular moment. If you're doing a cutting diet, like my pure protein diet, yes, figure out your macros. And if you want to eat more, stop because you're cutting, okay? If you're doing like a bulk, well, I'm not hungry anymore. Eat it anyway because you're specifically taking in a certain number of calories. But if you're doing body recomposition, just take in what your body needs, okay? Another example is when I put somebody on a low-carb diet for the first time, when I myself go... I've stayed low carbs forever now, but in the beginning, I went like on and off once in a while trying different diets. When I would go on a low carb diet, I would eat massive amounts of bacon. Like I would have all kinds of meat in the house. I would get in the car, go to the supermarket, buy like a pound of bacon, cook it up and eat it all myself. Okay, now why? I don't know. I mean, bacon has a lot of fat in it. Fat means a lot of calories, and it also has a lot of salt. So maybe my sodium levels are down, and I needed the salt from the bacon. Maybe I needed more energy, and that's why I needed the fat from the bacon, the calories. Maybe, fat is a hormone precursor for testosterone. So maybe being a man, I need the fat and the cholesterol to produce more testosterone. But whatever reason it was, if I needed bacon, I needed bacon. Okay, so that's basically what I'm saying. Now, How do I suggest this? Well, if you are doing a body recomposition, trying to lose fat and gain muscle at the same time, I suggest if your priority is to lose fat, you eat twice a day. If your priority is to build muscle, because there are skinny guys who'd rather build muscle, there are fatter, skinny fat guys who'd rather lose their gut. If your priority is to build muscle and lose fat, go ahead and eat 3 times a day. Okay? And like I said, if your priority is to cut while also building muscle, then eat twice a day. Eat as much as you want, and that will vary depending upon a million things. If you're getting fat adapted and just starting on the diet, you'll have different needs than if you've been on it for a while. If you get in a really hard workout that just breaks your muscles down, you might need more protein than normal, okay, and less fat. If you're in a situation where you burnt a lot of calories, or maybe you're stressed out, or for whatever reason, you might need more energy, more calories, so you might eat more fat. So, like I said, don't do what I did the first time when I went on the steak and eggs diet, where I was like, I am going to eat 200 grams of hamburger meat and 5 eggs, whether I want to or not, twice a day. You know, don't be like that. I'm going to give you an example. There's a really great diner. I think this diet's great if you're going to be on, if you're living in America and you have to eat out. People say, how do you eat out? It's easy. There's a diner in North Florida. It's a chain. It's a small chain, but it's a chain called Metro Diner, okay? Let's say you go out for lunch with the guys or whatever, with the people from work, with your girlfriend, whatever, or just alone. You go out to this diner, okay? A lot of times I'll eat something called the protein breakfast. It's 3 eggs, cooked however you want, and 2 servings of meat. I usually get like 3 eggs scrambled and 2 servings of bacon. So that's like 6 strips of bacon and 3 scrambled eggs. That's like a standard meal for me, okay? Let's say you sit down there and you're hungry. Well, they make something, I think it's called the American omelet. It's like little cubes of steak in an omelet with, cheese, and they have a couple, they have like maybe some onions or whatever in it too. That is a lot of protein and a lot of fat, a lot more calories than the protein breakfast. They're always like, okay, what kind of side would you like? Hash browns or pancakes? And I'm like, bacon. I'll pay like $1 extra, just bring me some bacon, don't bring me any carbs. So that's obviously a bigger meal. If you are starving hungry, then go ahead and have yourself an American omelet with little steak cubes and the cheese in it. Have a side of 3 strips of bacon for your omelet instead of the hash browns. Have the 3 and order a protein breakfast. Have like 3 scrambled eggs and another 6 strips of bacon. So you're eating like an omelet, 3 scrambled eggs, like 9 strips of bacon. I mean, just go ahead and if your body is telling you that you need that much food, then go ahead and do it. Okay? And if you only want maybe just a couple eggs, or maybe just like, like a hamburger with no bun, okay, that's fine too. I mean, I went to Elliot Holz's non-job seminar. It was like a little bit over a year ago, probably now. And, I was living in a hotel for a couple of days, and I had really nice abs. And what I did is in the morning, I would just have like a serving or 2 of scrambled eggs and some bacon. At lunch, I would just have a bacon cheeseburger. It was like, a hamburger with like a slice of they had decent natural cheese, and like a couple strips of bacon, and that was it. I'd eat, the lettuce as a salad, and then that's basically what I'd eat for lunch and for dinner. It was very little. Obviously, if I'm in a seminar, I'm not busting my ass in the gym. I'm not running up and down hills with a rucksack on my back, so I don't need as many calories. I don't need that much. So just, a simple hamburger without a bun twice a day and a few eggs and a couple strips of bacon in the morning, is fine. And like I said, I had plenty of energy. I felt great. And I stayed very lean. But like I said, you might, if you bust your ass, or if you're stressed out a lot, or if you're, really busting your ass in the gym, you might need an omelet and scrambled eggs and a whole bunch of bacon. So that's what I'm basically trying to say. Just eat whatever you want. If you have the feeling when you're going at lunch that all you want is like some grilled chicken, then order like a grilled chicken breast. Maybe your body doesn't need as many calories. Don't force yourself. Just like, even if you're trying to lose weight, if you're on the meat, eggs, and water diet, or the steak and eggs diet, and you feel you need like an omelet and eggs and all of this and all of that, eat it. Your body will use it, okay? And another thing is, like I said, if you, if you go ahead and you only feel like just eating a tiny little bit of lean meat, then just eat a tiny little bit of lean meat. Don't force yourself if you don't really need it. Like, don't force yourself to eat all these calories if your body's telling you, hey, just a little bit of lean protein would be enough. And, and that's basically because people say, like, well, how come you don't overeat? You cannot overeat, okay, on this diet. Like, you're not, if you're eating only, like, trying to lose weight, eating only twice a day, you're not going to eat, like, 500 pounds of hamburger meat or 500 eggs in like one sitting. There's a certain amount of food that will fit into your stomach and be comfortable. Okay, so if you just only eat what you want, what your body tells you, what you need, what you crave, and you keep it down to 2 or 3 meals a day, like I said, you're going to be feeding yourself enough of the right food, the right thing that you need, but you're not going to feed yourself too much, and you're going to make sure you hit all of your requirements. Because like I said, I mean, if you start on a workout program and you're not used to it, you might need more protein. Even though the people that talk about ketogenic diets say, oh, you need so much percent of fat. If your body tells you lean protein, then just eat the lean protein. You might eat like very few calories in a day because you're just, hey, I just want a couple chicken breasts and then that's it. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You also might go in the other direction and just eat fat and fat and fat and fat and fat. That's fine too. Your body needs the calories or it needs whatever, because like I said, if you're trying to build muscle and cut fat at the same time, you need to support, protein synthesis, like building muscle. You cannot overfeed yourself if your body's saying, hey, I've got enough. Okay, you need to basically respect what happens to your body. And like I said, I've been watching a lot of Greg Valentino's videos, and he talks about how all diets are instinctive. I think people need sometimes guidelines if they're going after a specific result. But he says himself, he's like, if you go ahead and mow the lawn today, you're going to need more calories than you did yesterday. So you can't stay on the same calories every single day, So like I said, that's what I suggest. If you're skinny fat, if you're trying to lose fat and gain muscle at the same time, do body recomposition, first of all, understand the results are not going to be as fast and as dramatic as if you would cut or bulk. But like I said, you're not going to get into a position where you're getting fatter by bulking or getting skinnier by cutting. You're going to slowly build your body up into a leaner, more muscular body, and then you can decide what you're going to do long term from there.